Radical.
Welcome to Radical Sports Recap. Actually, it's not really going to be titled that. It's probably just going to be titled, Hey, my recent thoughts on sports events in the NBA. We got 4 games to talk about. Starting out with the first one I saw the least of, the 76ers and the Hawks. I saw the last part of that game. The Hawks have tied things up with the 76ers. Some people thought the 76ers would sweep the Hawks even. But, Embiid, I think he went 0 for 12 at the end of that game. And he's working through an injury. I don't know if that leg's going to hold up. Embiid's a big boy. He's a big boy, and he usually has to deal with injuries. Great star, great talent, MVP candidate, but I don't know. So, yeah, the Hawks tied that one up. We're quickly moving on from this one because, like I said, I didn't watch much of the game. Going on to Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns taking care of the Chicken Nuggets. They're going to be forever known as the Chicken Nuggets. They dip some sauce on them and just let's see here. I can't really relate nuggets to brooms. I was going to have like a transition. Oh, okay. They bit off the heads of the nuggets, the chicken nuggets, threw them in the floor, and then swept all that into the broom and then put in a trash can. All right, we made it. We got the analogy. It's probably a terrible analogy. But yeah, they took care of them. They swept them. Let me tell you what. And there was a flagrant at the end of the game. A lot of people were saying might not have been a flagrant where Jokic just got frustrated and had like a wind-up swipe, at the ball or something like that. Now, I will say the Suns, a lot of you might not agree with this, but I say the Suns, I will say that they are probably the most impressive team so far in these playoffs. I think they're the most impressive because they knocked off the defending champion Lakers in 6 games. Granted now, sorry for the notification. Granted now, AD didn't play the whole series, but still that's impressive to take care of LeBron James in the first round, which has never been done before. But also, they swept a team that has the regular season MVP in Jokic. So that's pretty crazy, right? Didn't he get that the same day? Maybe the day before? He awarded the trophy and everything like that. Man, that's gotta suck. A little bit of a bittersweet victory. Hey, MVP! Fucking swept. MVP got swept. I don't know what you would say, probably. Still, congratulations on Jokic. You get to actually have more time off to enjoy that MVP honor, I suppose. Next up, the Nets and the Bucks. The Bucks, a lot of people thought would win this one because the Nets did not have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got a gruesome injury, and I don't think he's going to be back for the rest of the season. I don't think he'll be back. And they didn't have Harden. But they did have Harden. But you know what? It wasn't a Harden that you're familiar with. Like, it was a really rusty Harden. It was a really rusty Harden. He went 1 for 10. He only had 5 points. Yeah, not 50 points. Harden had 5 points. But you know what? Slim Reaper came through. Kevin Durant had about 50 points. And you need to watch the fourth quarter. Man, some of those shots, like you're like only Durant or freaking like Damian Lillard or something like that. Durant's a clutch player. I don't think he gets a lot of appreciation for being a clutch player, but he was freaking clutch. Still kind of a snake. He's still kind of a snake. But you know what? I'll give him his due. I'll give him his credit. When it comes to offense, man, oh man, that guy. And he's tall too. So he's got those weird angled shots. This is kind of fun to watch him shoot. He's got them like weird high angle shots because he's so freaking tall. Yeah. And the weird thing about that game was it started out actually, it was a weird game because it started out looking like the Bucks would just run right over them. Because I think they were up at one point by about 17 or 18. And I about, was like, just to kind of give up. Like, okay, the Bucks got this one. Maybe Harden will get a little better. Maybe he'll be a little less rusty. And then, of course, maybe Game 7, maybe the Nets might have a shot if Harden's doing okay. But no, Durant would have it. Durant took care of and handled his business. Next up, the Jazz and the Clippers. I tell you, I don't know what it is about the Clippers, but no one really knows what's going on with the Clippers. I mean, people were thinking that they were going to get taken care of by the Mavericks, and then they came back, and then they won that series. And then they were down 2 games to the Jazz. And everyone again was saying, hey, it's over. It's over. These fools might get swept. A lot of people were like, hey, you know what? This is when they fall apart. But they held it together, and they have tied things up with the Jazz. Not just tied things up, but they had a command performance. Marcus Morris came back, and I think he hit about 5 threes. I think he was perfect from 3. I don't think he'll do that again. But, what if he does? I mean, this is a loaded team. They don't have the best chemistry of all the other teams. I would say the Jazz probably overall have better chemistry, but the talent on the Clippers, man, the talent on the Clippers. And Paul George was not playing like George Paul. He wasn't like playoff P. If he makes it through and he gets at least to the finals, and even if they lose in the finals to the Suns, I think we might start having to call playoff P actual playoff P, right? And actually mean it like playoff P. He's been doing pretty good. Kawhi Leonard, the cyborg, or whatever they call Kawhi Leonard, he's been doing his part. Now, I didn't watch beyond the first half of the game because I pretty much knew that it was going to be over. I didn't have a sense or feel like the Jazz was going to mount a comeback, even though Donovan Mitchell did his part. He did his part. I think he scored almost 40 points. But the story is the Clippers. The story coming out of this is the Clippers, and how I think a lot of people, even like myself, maybe they just don't want to go out like jokes. Maybe when people start laughing about them, maybe that motivates them. So there it is, my thoughts on recent NBA happenings and scores. I will ask the question again if I didn't before. Which one of these teams, of these 8 teams, do you think is the most impressive so far in these playoffs?